Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction for Overlord. It is season 2 episode 4, the story side. And well, we are in for whatever will come out of the loss of our beloved Cocytus. Cocytus. His name is really complicated, but in this episode you will see how I learn how to pronounce him correctly. Not that I still could do it, but enjoy it. So, as always, if you want to see the episode, just go down into my description links and follow it, and you will have the fun of doing so. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear out my thoughts about this and see me discussing. So, until then, for those of you that came back, welcome back. Well, that was a nice episode. I liked it. There was a lot of interesting stuff in it. When it comes to the relationship of the members of the Tomb of Nezarec. Sure, once again, very nice scenes of the Lizard Man. And finally, we were able to see the last two Floor Guardians, which I was missing yet. So, let's just jump in and think about it. So, first of all, we started off with a victory celebration of the Lizard Man. I mean, they beat the undead army, and it was not an easy win, you have to admit. I'm pretty sure that they lost quite a good amount of men themselves, and the last fight against the Lich, that was not really controlling the army, but there was the ace in the sleeves, was a close call. They could have lost that one as well. So I can see that they're celebrating, and it's always a good thing to do after that. They discussed a little bit about the weapon with its abilities. So the icy burst effect, just 3 times a day. It protects from cold and stuff alike, you know. So we learn more about that. Maybe it will come in handy in the future. And we had the scene where Krush and Sariozu were lying in the tent because they were so exhausted and were disturbed with this nice question, "Hey, are you guys at it?" Typical one. So that's this. That's the side of the lizards. All seemed more only the good, but at least Sariozu was aware there is someone in the background, the Great One. Whoever is the leader of the army, the creator of the army, and he was waiting for him to come by. I mean, it was only a matter of time. He was just a little bit surprised how fast Ainz acted then. Which brings us to Ainz. So I was aware in the intro, to go there first, that we have a fight of, I think it is Momon, versus some Harlequin-like character with a Harlequin mask. It looked a little bit like. So I have not seen this one yet. There are many other characters in the intro we have not encountered at all. So I guess there is more to come. Then we went into the tomb. And there were now multiple things that were interesting and new. So one thing is, we first time ever met Victim, which we have in the picture right here, which is a very interesting design. It reminds a little bit of a brain on the one side, due to the, let's say, the build-up of it. Although from the front it looks a little bit like an S as well. I'm not sure what it is called in English. The glory above it is interesting because that is normally said to be like for angels or other more positive mythical creatures. So interesting. And his wings are more like twigs to me, which are a little bit flowering. So I'm not sure what why he is designed that way. But it's an interesting design for sure. So I'm interested to learn more about him in the future and what his powers especially are. Seeing that he is possibly something about mind control or stuff alike, but we'll see. However, Ainz stated something that was very interesting here, and he said one of the major sayings, statements of the guild was that if you die for your comrades, if you die for your friends, then this is a good thing and there's no higher honor to do, you know? Which makes absolute sense if you have a group of people to hold this one up, because you need to rely on each other. But it is a very positive thing again, something that is more seen to be done by the good guys, you know? Evil characters very often tend to think about themselves on the first one. But there we are at the concepts of good and evil again, and of rightful, lawful, stuff like that. So, seeing that Eins is more of like an more neither lawful evil character, it makes sense to keep this up, to say, yes, it is good to die for the others in your group, because he wants to have loyalty, he wants to inspire loyalty, and so, nice. Let's go on. We heard a little bit about the Abelian sheeps that Demiurg found for the scrolls. So there are two things. It's low-level scrolls, so possibly they will have to search for other beasts or animals or whatever to get the materials for higher level scrolls, because I'm pretty sure, if possible, those would be great. But well, at least they have low level, which I guess is 1, 2, and 3 level spells. And those sheep, as I understood, are not really sheep, they are chimeras. So that's not like a flock of sheep somewhere sitting in the grass. It is more like something you have to hunt, possibly. So I am looking forward, because I guess that might be a plot line here. Two options. Either those chimeras are somehow important to this Holy Kingdom, and this will cause trouble on one side, because they kill them, you know. Or the other thing is, those are really beasts, and in the meaning of dangerous beasts, and if they kill them, Demiurg and the tomb here, maybe the Holy Kingdom will like them for doing it, you know. It's more like an adventurer thing then. Both options could be valid. So I'm interested to see if there's something following on this. Then we had Cocytus. His name is not easy for me, as you know now, but I try my best. So we knew he was ordered back to the tomb. I mean, what else should be done now? The army is gone. We were aware of the fact that it seemed as though the army was designed to be weak from the start. I mean, Demiurg is a very clever guy, and he saw right through this, and he was stopped talking while he explained to Cocytus that maybe this is something that was designed by Eins. That is a test, not a real win. It was a, let's see how good you do with those things I give you, by Eins. So he was in for maybe some punishment, not absolutely sure, but at least he had to report back and confess that he lost, and it did not go as planned. So there were many interesting things. So first thing, Eins asked him, so why did you lose? It's a typical thing. It's a question. Analyze what happened. So there's one thing. Will you lie? Will you try to look better than you did? Will you take the blame? You were the general. Will you take the blame, or will you put it on others? And Cocytus, holy heck, tried his. I think he did quite good. He stated some weaknesses, but he did not push it away from himself. So he took a part of the blame. So what he said was that he underestimated the lizard men. So that's the first thing, he takes blame. I underestimated them, and yes, he did. No question there. He did not gather enough information, and I think that was a critical thing. I discussed this last time. He missed the opportunity by having the mirror to learn more about what the lizard men are doing, watch more carefully the battlefield itself, because there were some traps in. He did not completely prepare for their magic, in my opinion. So there was a lot he missed, just by tactics and strategies. Stuff could have been done like surprise attacks and the like, but he instead marched in full force, viewable. So he even stated when he will be coming. Because he wanted to pose, he wanted to oppose them and show off his strength, which makes some sense. I mean, Ainz did it in this episode the same way. But that's some of the reasons why he lost. He had no commanders, true. Those were more neither mindless undead, very weak for the Tomb of Nazarick. Weak ones. I'm pretty sure a lot of armies would have had problems against them. But they had no real control. They were just, they were just fighting. They couldn't do some maneuvers and the like. So yeah, he was aware of that, but he took the blame. So it's he could have done better. That's the thing. I think he couldn't have won unless he's using the Lich, because I think the Lich was powerful enough to win this battle if he would have been thrown in during the fight. But apart from this ace, with the troops he had, he could not have won this fight, in my opinion. But it was not about winning, it was about how good do you use the resources that your guild leader gives you. That is what it was about. And as we learned now, Ainz wanted to know one thing specifically. Are my floor guardians and everyone else here, which I know from Yggdrasil, capable of learning, capable of improving, capable of getting better? Because I'm pretty sure in Yggdrasil, when they were created, they had this level, and that's it. You said, I want a level 80 character, and these are the stats, and this is the equipment. That's it. It will never change unless you program it to change. In this world where they are now, they start off with this level and equipment. But can they get better, or maybe worse, which might be possible as well, getting older or stuff like. So that's the thing. Can they get better? Can they get stronger in their level? Can they learn new skills and abilities? Can they go, as example, into maybe even a different class? Stuff like that. That's what is interesting to Ainz, and I can completely see this. And I like it, because it once again shows that Ainz is not only about taking over the world. He is still in the reconnaissance mode. He is still learning about this world, understand it first. So first season was about where are we, how can we get secure, who is around us, who is a danger maybe. And now he's like, okay, now that we at least got some information of that, or it's running, gathering information, how does this world influence us? How are we in this world? And that is very, very nice. I like it. So now he's checking his floor guardians, if they can evolve, if they can change. And yes, that is about loyalty as well, because there's no question. If they can learn new skills and the like, then it means their loyalty is not written in stone anymore, because this one was done by programming them. 100% loyalty, done. But if they can change everything now over time, it might be that their loyalty changes as well. But he's starting on the highest level right now, so if he acts wisely and good in their way, then they will very, very likely not lose their faith in him. But that's not an easy task. We had that already in the past discussed. So, like it. Very, very cool. So what he ordered now is that Cocytus had to face the lizard men alone and wipe them out. There was a moment when I was like, oh no, please don't kill him now. And then I was like, I don't believe that completely. Is he really saying that? And I think it was a trigger. He tried to test once again. Will you do it? I mean, if it would be 100% loyalty and not questioning stuff, then Cocytus, who is, in my opinion, of all of those here, possibly the one who's most, by the way he was designed and is shown until now, the one that is most thinking about the word stubborn, a very one-way-ish character. You know, he's a tank. He is not simple-minded, not saying he's stupid. He's like, there's a clear direction for everything. Something like that. So that seems to be the character who will, if you give an order, just carry it out. At least I think so. So the question here was, can I get this character to try to renegotiate the order? To maybe even say no, but at least try to renegotiate, or to that I can see he is not blindly following. And exactly that happened, and that is great, because it shows that those characters live now. So Cocytus, holy heck, said, I ask a favor. I don't want to wipe them all out. So I think they earned his respect. I mean, he has seen the fight, what was happening. He's seen the Lizardman fight, and he's seen the last group fight, so the group around Sariuzu. And I think he's a little bit like an honorful warrior. He respects this strength. He respects the fact that they were fighting against an overwhelming enemy and fighting for their lives, and that's why he's asking for it. And yes, he has some points. They are, possibly not the toughest troop here, not the toughest race at all or anything, but they would make possible allies. I don't see much that they can give to the tomb, to be fair. They are so separated. They do not really trade. They do not really craft things that would be interesting for the tomb. So I think that's the main problem. If they would be like having sheep, for the scrolls, that would be an option. However, still, he pledged for them. He asked for their lives, and then he had the one problem, because Ein said, why? What do they bring me? Why should I do it? I think it would have been one step too far. But what Eins was waiting for is the because I want it from Cocytus. The because I honor them, because I think they do it. I can't give you a benefit because I think it's good. So that would go from the monarchy that they have in the tomb to a monarchy with what is it called? Counselors. Which it is already a little bit, Eins has some counselors already. But that was a step too far for him, for Cocytus. So he didn't do it. He was like, I cannot give you a logical reason. So he didn't say anything. And this is where Demiurge came in. And I like that. I really liked it. Demiurge is way too clever for himself. As long as he's loyal to Eins, that's fine. If Demiurge would whatsoever change sides, that would be really a problem. Because I very, very often ask myself how much Demiurge knows, or at least guesses. So Demiurge very much thinks and thought that all of this was a plan of Eins already. So he's anticipating this and seeing this is going into the direction that possibly Eins wants now. He doesn't want to kill them. He says, well, what about, and he just brings in an idea, It does not have to be a good one. It was about, let's use it for govern exercise. To learn how to govern other people. Possibly he could have even said, like, because they pick nice flowers for you. I don't know. It might have worked. But it was a valid point. So, and Eins jumped on it. I think it was going the way that Eins wanted. This was, he did not really want to kill them. Yes, he would have had no loss in doing so. Killing them, then using them as undead. but in this way he, as he even stated himself, he can use them to train and to test his own guardians. He was able to see and learn about one of his floor guardians by just throwing away some minor undeads that he can create like every day, you know? They don't matter to him in this way as a floor guardian does. So it was a win-win situation for him here. Yeah, and that's one thing that he said, I just paraphrased it, don't blindly follow my orders, or any orders as such. Don't just blindly follow. Think about it, adapt my orders, adapt the commands, adapt what you have to do for the benefit of the tomb. So if the good thing is, he is aware they are more than just puppets now. So he has to trust in them, that they do the right things, but he's trying to like give them away already. In many ways, he's like a father now. He's becoming from the Overlord more and more to a father figure for many of those characters. He's leading them in their first steps on discovering what they themselves want. So, and if this works out, he can just simply give him an order like, I want to make sure that this, let's call it the kingdom, is, as example, is not a danger for us. Go for it. Aura. Do something. So there are many options now. You could destroy the kingdom. You could make them an ally. You could renegotiate trade with them so that they don't want to fight against you because they have a huge benefit from you. You could mind control the king. There's so many options, you know? And I think this is where it's going in the future a little bit. That although he's a spider in the middle of the web, everyone outside is working in his way, hopefully. Nice one. So, how we got that? We got that. Yeah, we jump back to the lizards. We've seen Rororo is still alive, which I like. I was a little bit afraid he would be dead. It's a nice Hydra. We had the appearance of the mythical army. Well, what to say? I already said it in the reaction. This was show off maximum level. I mean, what the heck, you know? He could just have like even darkened the sky completely and had meteors came crashing down, whatever. It was just like, okay, you want to show off. And he did, you know, with this, I guess it's more neither like an elite army he had there, all magical equipment, mythic army level. Okay, you win. So then he pops up himself. He has Gargantua with himself, which we've seen the first time, which is an interesting thing, which throws a huge block. So that, and then the undeads create a stair made out of undeads, so he goes on top and is just posing. This was just like, what the frack? Why? I mean, okay, it worked on the chieftain. He was willing to simply surrender completely. I mean, when the army appeared, they were already like, okay, we cannot beat that. And then the 6th level spell appeared, and the priestess was, what the, no chance. This is a moment when you see you have no chance at all, it is over. And the chieftain was ready to surrender, but then we were at the I want to have a last fight thing. So he sends in his floor guardian against whatever the lizards sent. I really would like the lizards to win, but I seriously doubt it. Just seeing the power level. I mean, they really had to struggle against the one lich that was sent in. So I'm pretty sure that Cocytus is winning this battle. Maybe not easy. What I hope for is that he's not killing them, because it would be sad for me. Although it is an option, you know, it is a fight. You never know what's happening if there's a fight and they use their weapons against each other, and there is an unlucky hit. Someone with the power of this floor guardian, with his halberd he was carrying around in the older episodes, he simply would behead anyone standing in the way. So it might happen that we lose some lizard men there. However, that's what we are up to. While in this wonderful scene here, Ainz was simply rubbing it in the face of the lizard man how incredibly overpowering he is. So kind of interesting, because he before stated that he doesn't want them to rule by fear. So he wants loyalty, but before he goes for that, he's like, I could kill you every time. And he definitely could, you know? He has his spells every day. He just, possibly even from the tomb, could use one spell and the whole village would be gone. So, yeah, maybe it's something... I'm not sure if he wants to show off, or if it is something that he's like, I have to learn how to do it. Because it makes things easier, you know? It's, sadly enough, it's not always the nice one that wins. It's a powerful one. Or the a-holes. Well, in this case here, it's a powerful one, no question. So we will see. Next time, we're in for a fight. And, well, possibly growing kids in lizard bellies or as eggs. I mean, if they are lizards, it should be eggs, shouldn't it? So, that's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed. I'm very sorry I talked very long this time, but it was a really interesting episode. And especially character design was a lot of development this time, which is why I liked it. And they even showed off when they walked out how different in style and character all of the Guardians are as well, you know. Some like just goodbye, make the best out of your life, I wish you well, stuff like that. And others like little child, so bye, you know, aura and like. So, interesting. However, this is for the time. Please feel free to comment, to like, to subscribe, to check out my Patreon or my Facebook page, and I will see you again the next time I react, which will be very soon. Until then, my name is Relax and Panic, goodbye, and out.